I guess everyone believes in coming in at the last minute. You are on mute. So Tish, Christina just indicated that she's not going to make the meeting. And I think you already heard from Dan, so.
Yeah.
Attendee, Dottie, promote to panelist. Good morning, Dottie.
Hey, Stephanie.
How are you?
How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Dottie, are you still working with Shalia?
Yes.
So my husband is working on a TDI. I told you that TDI grant.
Catalyst.
Yeah, and he told me the other day, she was the only one that had so far read the proposal he put together. She's part of the core team.
Yeah. She's really great. And, you know, it's exciting to work with a young person that's got like such good ideas. And, you know, we meet with her every Thursday, and it's me, Robert Jenkins, George Durant, Mary, a couple people from the mayor's office. We had Harbor One. She took a course through Harbor One.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get a $5,000 line of credit. Like, she's really a go-getter. She's really,
good.
really smart. It's exciting to be a part of that. Hey, Craig.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Good.
Well, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, John.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, John.
Sorry about that with the agenda. I was adding the new members to my list, and somehow I think I lost you in the process.
That's all right.
But you're back. Hey, Bruce.
How are you?
Well, how are you?
We're doing good.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Mark.
Morning.
Hey, Mark.
Mark,
Craig,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you? What are you? You're just here to spectate?
Absolutely.
Oh boy, I hope I'm not being graded.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Matt. All right, we have quorum, and I know two people. Christina just mentioned that she would not be able to attend a moment ago. Dan is not able to attend, so but we will have quorum. I'll just wait a minute to see who are we missing.
I don't, I think that's it. We have 7 on, and with Dan and Christina, that's 9.
Well, we have 7 on, but Craig's not actually.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. So who are we missing? Tim is not on.
Tim. All right, he's usually pretty good about letting us know. So, all right. Well, anyway, we're gonna start it. I'd like to keep it under an hour. I know it's in the middle of the workday for everyone. So it is 11 o'clock, February 11th. Welcome to the Easton Economic Development Council meeting, and we'll dive right into the agenda. First order of business is to.
Okay.
There he is. Perfect.
There we go.
First order of business is to accept the meeting minutes of January 14th. Did everyone have a chance to look at those?
And I apologize, we just got those out to everybody.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. I have, looks like there's someone who's an attendee, but I can't see their name.
Huh, we can see everybody's name.
So it appears as though everyone is here. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's showing that.
Is it somebody on a phone? Can you just write to them in the chat? What is their name?
I'll try. I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know
wait
why
a minute.
it's no name. It just says there's an attendee in the attendee box, but there's no name there.
I don't know who else it would be either.
Okay.
So,
All right. Sorry to interrupt.
we lost, did we lose Mark?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Anyone have a cat that could replace
There he
him?
is. Hold on, he's back.
Sorry about that. I'm at home and the kids are remote today, so the internet just is so bogged down. But I'm back and I'm actually I'm not even on Wi-Fi right now, so I'm eating up data to make this happen. Okay, so I can be heard. Everything's good.
Yep,
Yep.
I think we left off at the meeting minutes, January 14th, 2021. Did everyone have a chance to look at it? I know they were just sent out. Okay,
Yes.
does anybody want to make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as they are?
Yeah, I was noticing that I was not in attendance last week, and the minutes do have me down as attending and voting on the two motions on the previous
Okay.
minutes.
All right, so we'll make that adjustment. And are there any other corrections on the minutes? So
On page 3, there's a couple of highlighted areas that look like there might have had questions.
say that again, Bruce.
On page 3, top paragraph, there's a couple of sections that were highlighted in yellow, so I didn't know if those were questions.
I sent the wrong ones.
Okay.
One that just came out this morning.
Yeah, the very top says rendering of blank plaza, and then
Right.
hold on, I don't remember seeing.
Oh, yeah, it was like to be filled in later.
You know what? Why don't we just do this?
Yeah,
We'll table it. We'll look at the minutes for January 14th in our next meeting. So we'll make sure there's a corrected version for us to approve.
sounds good.
Okay. All right. So meeting minutes been moved. Easton outside update. So I'm sure a number of you have heard or seen Easton outside all around town and maybe in the paper a little bit and videos that have popped up. But you know, the $1,000 that the select board allotted for economic development to use in conjunction with this Easton Outside campaign has really gone a long way. It's actually pretty incredible. But you know, one of the things that I wanted I'd like this board, this council, to be more involved. So one of the things that I haven't talked to you about it, Stephanie, but what are your thoughts on inviting anybody from this council to attend the next Easton Outside meeting, just so you can get a better feel for what's going on? Because there's a lot of work being done between, town people working for the town and the Easton Chamber. And I want all of the Economic Development Council to have the opportunity to sit in on meetings, contribute to meetings, participate to the degree they want to. So Stephanie, what do you think
I
about
think
that?
that's a great idea, and I'll add everybody, and then as you can attend, that would be wonderful.
Okay,
So we'll add all council members to the mailing distribution list, and then to the Zoom meeting.
okay.
as
And when is our
people
next
list.
meeting, so they know?
It is next Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
Okay, Tuesday 10. If you can make it, I think you would be. It's very educational. You'll learn a lot, and you see some people. I think everybody on there. It's usually myself, Stephanie, Dottie, and then you have a number of chamber members. But anybody from the public is welcome to join. You'll see how the think tank actually works and just flows with the conversation. So, would you like to provide any updates on that, Stephanie?
Well, I'm going to just add to what you just said for the council. I also think it's a good opportunity for the town council, as we develop the ambassadorship roles, to engage with business owners and hear firsthand what's going on with them, so that when you do start to reach out, you'll be more comfortable because you've interacted and are hearing what's going on. I just want to add, we ordered 200 masks that say Easton Outside. I have those in my office. They are now in their mask sleeves. So I'll be delivering those between today and tomorrow to some of the businesses so that they can start distributing them. Neil Levine has really been the core coordinator, but what's been great, as Mark pointed out, is that everybody's feeding him information and helping. So his role, even though he's coordinating everything, is just getting what he needs, putting it together, putting the videos on the website. He has coordinated a press release with the local media. The article was already in the paper, right?
Yes, it was.
Outside. And then he has had, I'm pretty sure he's already had the Fox interview, just doesn't know when that will be aired. That will be kind of when they have room, but it won't be stale because they're still moving forward. And he's continuing to do the videos. So the next one coming up is how do you Easton Outside, and getting just the general public start taking their own videos and sending those along. Northeastern Savings Bank has committed to donating or funding gift cards, so that when people do start sending their videos in, the group will select I think it's the ones they like best, or if you make it in the selection, and someone will win a gift card. And actually, I think what they're proposing now is a package of $5 gift cards, so you can spend them in different places and really kind of encourage people to get outside. We have maxed out the $1,000 grant with the signs. So, and those have been distributed. There are lawn signs. So if any of the council members want a lawn sign, get in touch with Karen Newman at the chamber, and she will get you one. And I think that's kind of all I have on that right now.
If I could, I just want to point out, Matt, I'm sorry, if I could just point out, Matt and Christina have, I reached out to them, we reached out to them a couple weeks ago and asked them if they could put together an Easton Outside website, and they did right away. It looks great. They're still working on it, but they have contributed to this effort, and just a big shout out to them for that. Also, one of the things that is being developed right now with the campaign is there's going to be, I think they're called social media frames. So it's basically a giant cutout of a social media. It looks like a picture, so people can actually stand behind it. A picture is taken, and we're going to set these up all around town at restaurants, at Oaks Ames Memorial Hall, and basically try and build it into some sort of scavenger hunt bingo thing. And like Stephanie said, there will be prizes. And I do think that Northeastern Savings, they're contributing incredibly to this financially and putting in a lot of work. But there's going to be some grand prizes, like $150 grand prizes. So if you participate in it, you could get a $150 gift card from a local business that will be bought and paid for by Northeastern Savings. So that's pretty awesome. And you know, one of the things that I do want to point out, we say a number of times throughout those meetings, throughout this meeting, that this is open to the public. It's not just chamber members, but I do want to point out how much the chamber is doing. Karen Newman drives around in her car every other day, dropping these signs off. Neil has stepped up. So, you know, when you look at the people at these meetings, they are all chamber members. Everybody's invited to be part of it, but so much of this work is being done by chamber members. I just want to make that very clear and express gratitude that they're carrying like the load here. So, yeah. Anybody else have any comments or questions?
No, but I'm going to put a little teaser out there. The next item, and one that I'm actually going to bump up, it should have been higher up in the order. What we'll talk about is how this actually is becoming an example for other communities who are interested in starting their own campaigns too.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, so the local rapid recovery program grant, I can't remember if at the last meeting we'd already been notified. We did receive an award for that technical assistance. The next step is that we are supposed to be matched up with our technical consultant. I haven't heard yet anything on that, but once we do, what we'll be doing is further refining what that effort is going to look like. And of course, we'll be involving the members of the council as well as the members of Easton Outside in that effort as we start that planning process. So when I have more details, I'll share that with everyone. And then Dottie, I put this under general outreach and support, but I'm going to bump it up and ask that Dottie talk about the regional pilot program grant, which part of it kind of is a jumping off point for other communities to do a similar program that we are doing with Easton Outside.
Right. So the local rapid recovery program, the state keeps sending out these grants like pretty quickly, and they're like, you have a week to fill up, you have a week to submit it, and the money's got to be spent by June, kind of a thing. And like with the local rapid recovery, they still haven't picked the consultants to pair with the towns, but the money still has to be done, you know, the plan has to be done by June. That's just a plan. There's no money. Like once you come up with the plan, there's no money to execute the plan. So that is going to have to be the next thing that the state comes up with. So this the local pilot program is kind of along those lines. Stephanie had applied for like a marketing kind of assistance, branding, marketing for the local rapid recovery, for a consultant to come in and give us best advice on this. Since we applied, I feel like we could be the subject matter experts in Easton to tell other communities how to do it. So when this local pilot grant came out, 2 communities have to work together or have the same kind of a plan, at least 2 communities. And so a number of local communities got together and saw what Easton was doing, and that was Halifax, Avon, West Bridgewater, Brockton, and then Easton. They love the Easton Outside campaign, and like a town like Halifax doesn't have a lot of business in their downtown to like put a sign up in front of them and say they're, you know, that they can eat outside. They don't really have outside dining, but they want to say Halifax is open. they're open for business and they want to let people know. So Old Colony Planning Council put together a grant that they're the grant applicant for those 5 communities to get money for those projects. One of the other things that went in the application is, we had talked about this before, a lot of the people that are on this call were on the Economic Development Council back a couple of years ago, about having an app for the community that you could go on. It will be on the website and you can put it on your phone, and it will be like, where are the restaurants in Easton? Where are the hotels? Where are the museums? Where are the biking trails? You know, and so it would include the money to do that for a year, to get that app up and developed. And the best part about it is Old Colony Planning Council will do all the work if this is awarded. So there's money that was dedicated to each community for signs, banners, masks, and the app. And if a community didn't want to do the masks, they could maybe do extra banners or however they wanted to, but the app would be really the feature of this. So that just got submitted yesterday. So we should hear about that probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And again, that's another thing, the money's got to be in June. So it's going to be a fast turnaround. And, you know, what it will do is amplify the amount that Easton is doing, and then it will help get some of the other ones off the ground should we get the grant.
Awesome. So we have 2 things going on here. We have what you're talking about with that grant, and then we have what Stephanie was talking about with having an outside consultant come in to help us through economic recovery. And there's no, you know, and coupled with what economic development is doing with Easton Outside, we can combine all of these things and really set the stage. You know, I know that when the strategists, whatever you want to call it from the state, when they come in, we could give them, say, hey, we've been developing Easton Outside, but we also have something that we've half created, which is our ambassador program. And then Easton Outside kind of dovetails into the ambassador program. And this goes on for the next, you know, year or so, or you know, hopefully there's no end date anytime soon. And then coupled with Dottie with that grant. So all these, it's like all these things they're hitting at exactly the right time, and we're in the right place because of all the work we've done prior. So I think Easton is in a better position than most towns with all the work we've been doing.
And I think,
I was going to say, I just pulled up the numbers for the grant. So the app was put in for $10,700. The signs would be 100 signs, 5 banners, 10 social media frames, and 500 Easton masks is what we put into the grant.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that again, Dottie? I wasn't writing it down.
Sure. The app is $10,700, so we put that in. The signs we put in for 100 signs, 5 banners, 10 social media frames, and 500 Easton masks.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's outstanding. And we will, if we are fortunate enough, we will use that. You know, one of the things if we can use these funds for Easton Outside for economic development, and I think, yeah, no, never mind on that. Yeah, if we can use these funds for those programs, that'll be incredible. And it'll free up, we won't have to keep dipping into the Stonehill gift, which, you know, we can't keep dipping into it. You know, we just can't. It doesn't work like that. We can't keep going back to the well. So this is another stream of income that will absolutely help. So.
And there will be some more support because the applicant is Old Colony Planning Council. So they will help, like they'll order the signs, they'll do the procurement, they'll do the, you know, pay the invoice. It'll all come from them. So give a little bit of a breather to some of the groups that are doing that now as volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
right, that's a big help. And Mark, I like that you were talking about how this all positions us, because with the local rapid recovery program, part of it is rapid recovery coming out of COVID, but it also has a long-term component to it for economic growth and recovery. And one of the things, you know, we've talked about for a long time is having a marketing plan for how we kind of promote and get the word out about our different growth districts, the investments that the town has made to attract private investment, you know, with the zoning, with the infrastructure improvements, and having the community engaged at this point in that process, I think is really helpful, because we can involve them in the development of the plan so it's realistic, and the community, the business community, the property owners recognize that their participation is really important in whatever actions are identified as part of the plan. And you know, Dottie mentioned that it's a plan that will be the outcome. It doesn't actually have money, but part of the value of having a plan is that when you have grants, as they become available, you can pull that off the shelf and you can say, here's what we've been planning for. Here's the work that we've done to date. And that really helps you in making your grant application more competitive. And that's how we've won several of these MassWork grant awards that have helped us with our infrastructure projects, is because we had plans in place that demonstrated the town's long-term commitment to these growth areas.
Oh, go ahead, Tim, sorry.
That's all right. I'm looking on the town website and we have the, if anybody's been there recently, you have the COVID update. And when you click on there, there's some information, hyperlinks about local business assistance and then support local business assistance. Are you still like in the drafting phase of this? Is it ready to go, or because it'd be nice to have a link somewhere there to let the businesses know about these potential grants, or is it still in the planning stage, would you say?
Are you talking about the local rapid
The assistant
recovery
grants? Yeah.
You don't really put it on a website in advance of getting the grant. You don't really want to publicize stuff like that.
Okay.
You know,
So
if
too early?
copy of it, Stephanie could share that with you, but that's not something you'd want to put on a website.
All right, I just thought for the public, I didn't see anything there yet, and there's a lot of good information here, and I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be ready. I mean, again, that's part of what the technical expert will help us with, is what is the rollout, because we'll need to engage the community. I'm imagining, because that's usually what you do. You engage the community to get feedback and input to help you develop that plan. And we would put together a schedule and talk about who we would involve. Of course, the Easton outside group would be one of the first, but then even beyond that. So yeah, we're not there yet until we know who we're working with and have an initial plan of action.
Okay.
I just wanted to add that none of these plans would work if we didn't have the business community rolling up their sleeves and being involved. And that's really the secret sauce to how this is doing so well, is because they know what they need. They're very clear about it. They're willing to help. The enthusiasm is contagious. And so, as you'll see, if you look at the videos for the Easton Outside, when they first started, there was a handful of, businesses, and then it expanded not only to businesses, but to other organizations, and it's really like kind of developed a life of its own. And like you'll smile when you watch them, like involuntarily smile, because it's a great video, and it's nice to see so many of our local businesses that are taking the time to do this and be a part of it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And Dottie, I had no idea that all those other communities were actually looking at this and seeing what's being created. That's, it's very complimentary to have your peers in other communities look at what you're doing and say, I want to do that. That, I mean, right there tells you you're doing something right if other communities are trying to copycat you, right? So I didn't know that. That's incredible. That's really great to hear. Does anybody else have any more comments or questions on those grants, Easton Outside? Anything? Okay. Because I'm working off my phone, I can only see one person at a time, so I can't see what your faces are doing. So please bear with me. I apologize. So we have the website update. In addition to creating the Easton Outside website, Matt and Christina are working on our website still. So Matt, could you step in and take it from here? Let us know how things are going.
Sure, I'd be happy to. I want to make sure I give Christina the credit for putting together the Easton Outside website. She did all of that work herself, and so I want to make sure I stated that for the record. I have a paragraph or so of copy / mission statement for the Easton Outside campaign that I can add into that website this weekend.
Was that what you had sent earlier, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could get that on as soon as possible, that'd be great, because that was what you wrote was perfect.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can add that pretty quickly, I think, once I figure out how to log in.
Okay.
As far as Think Easton goes, I'm going to share my screen just briefly, and I want to keep it brief here. So I have spent some time over the last couple of weeks sourcing, publicly available images either from Wikimedia or the town website for images of the town, maps, those sort of resources, as well as writing copy for the pages that we had sort of blocked out for the navigation structure of the website. So this is a quick look. This page is not live, but this is sort of a quick look at what I ended up calling Easton for Residents, which is sort of that mashup of live in Easton and play in Easton, in the same way we had organized working and learning under the same vertical. So a lot more copy here, as you can see. Some of it was previously on the website, so I don't want to take too much credit. It is repurposing a lot of the stuff that we already have, the images of the shovel works, but this map of all the open spaces in the town is from the town website, as well as this map of the proposed education school district. I'm not quite sure what we're calling it, the complex with the new school edition, as a kind of bonus down here at the bottom. And then I'll show off one of the priority development pages, and I will, after that, get to the point, which is the sort of punch list I have put together of remaining to-dos in order to get this revision of the website live. So this is a look at the priority development district page for downtown Easton. This is a page from Wikimedia, I believe. Keeping the map here. This copy is all net new. So a lot of this is ready to go. And I think the biggest thing remaining is having folks look over the copy, because I definitely want input from the board members for approval, suggestions, all of that. And I've organized the copy in a folder in Google Drive. There's a table of contents document that links to all the discrete copy docs, which I'll share in the reply to the minutes after today's meeting. And everybody should have comment access, so everybody will be able to kind of make suggestions or edits to this copy. And then the other big remaining thing will be continuing to source pictures. So I've got a punch list of about 10 different items. A lot of that is, pictures of each of the development districts. So downtown Easton and Five Corners are two areas we don't have a lot of pictures of. Queesit we have some pictures of, but it would be great to have more. More pictures of open space in town. Mark, I know there are some pictures that we were sending back and forth for the Easton Outside website, and I might repurpose some of those. Mm-hmm. There's some great pictures of folks in the parks around town that I'll definitely use. The page that I don't really have any content for yet is the resources for businesses page. I think there are a few links. It would be pretty easy to just kind of list out there. We had talked about the Metro South Chamber of Commerce commercial site finder. That would be a good thing to link there, right? Local real estate practices.
The Easton Chamber,
Easton Chamber for
painting.
So
yeah, there's
Matt, on the Economic Development Council, I'm pulling it up so I can see this. The Economic Development Council page, on the left-hand side in the nav box, there is, we do have helpful links.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so,
There you go. There's your content right there.
Yeah.
I mean, we certainly can add, there are probably more that we can add, but there are definitely, that's definitely a good start.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Thank you, Stephanie, for bringing that up. I think that's exactly what we're looking for there. And then the other sort of remaining action items would be, for each of those priority development districts, do we want to call out lists of notable local businesses? And if so, would people like to contribute to those lists, or would it be better to kind of leave it off to avoid the appearance of favoritism?
I think for now, leave it off.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we go in there and we just highlight, like a couple restaurants, then it's.
For sure.
I would be frustrated if I wasn't a restaurant highlighted.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what would probably be useful, because part of what we're trying to do is attract new business and private investment. And I can work on this from my department, is to have a map of the district that shows the parcels. Because that, that might be something that if someone's looking, a private developer, they want to see what the parcel layouts are like.
That would be great, Stephanie. I'd love to connect with you on that. Yeah, because the mapping widget in Wix it's just a Google Maps plugin, which is super useful for kind of like locating where the district is. But I think a more detailed map could be a great thing to include at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the final thing is actually something I just thought of today. So for one of the top level pages, what we call Easton by the numbers right now, I was actually wondering if we have a sense of when we might get census results. Because we have, there's the table in Wikipedia, which is from the previous census, which has things, like area, population, which would all be great to include in Easton by the numbers. And then I thought, well, didn't we just have a census? And I'm wondering if I should just use the old numbers or.
Well, the old numbers are from what, 2010?
Yeah, they're
right.
They're 10 years old.
So I think that's actually a Dottie/Connor question / Danielle Sicard question. Do you have any idea?
There's different census. That's the federal 10-year census that was in 2010. But then there's other area census that are developed along that line, and even the town census that we apply to every year. So there are subsets of that census that are probably in the 2017, 2018 that you can get on census.com. I'm happy to get that census information for us. There's also really good aging census information. So if you tell me specifically what you're looking for, I have tons of resources to get that information.
Okay. So Matt, you can definitely email Dottie if there's specific information you're looking for.
That would be great. I will. Sorry, I'm just taking notes as I do this.
Dottie, this is a side note. I'm going to check back in with you on that, because I think you mentioned census.com, but last year when I needed to get census information for another job that I was in, at the federal level, they have changed, as you may know, they changed the whole website, and I found it like impossible.
That's why I took a webinar on how to use it.
I did have a thought from an industrial standpoint on the website. I'm not sure of all the exact terminology. I could look that up and share some of it, but I think it was part of the Obama administration. They had created this $600 million partnership between the industry, the government, and education. And it's to highlight, I think there were maybe 7 different legs of technology that they're trying to expand. So one of them is photonics, which is, if you're not familiar with that, it's just basically everything that we do with electricity and computers, it would be doing that with light and at the speed of light, as opposed to the constraints of electricity. And this is being driven by MIT, and MIT is partnered with Bridgewater State University as well as Stonehill. And Stonehill is just starting a photonics program, education program and degree program. So that might be something that we really want to highlight, that it's an unusual program in the state, and something that some of these industries might want to be around, where they could locate in the industrial park or other locations that are even walking distance to students that are in this program.
Yeah, that sounds like the perfect sort of thing to highlight on the businesses page, John.
I can
Thank
see
you.
what I
Yeah,
can pull together for information, Matt, and I can forward that
Sure.
off to you.
that would be perfect. Yeah, that's exactly, I think, the sort of connected, you know, that page it's kind of a hop, skip, and a jump from like business development to there are also these universities located in the area. And that seems like really important connective tissue there. So that would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's real high, I think, obviously real high tech, stuff, and maybe the type of company and business that Easton would be looking to attract.
Yeah, and we definitely talk about the Easton Industrial Park a little bit too. So that would be a really good connection.
Okay.
John, I think that's a great idea. This is a huge program and it's just developing. Like we've built the lab, but I could get anyone in touch with the two directors that are running it, and they'd be more than happy to provide any information we're looking for.
That might be great to study about that and talk to them and interview them about just to talk about it and
Sure.
have it on there. A few years back, we did an economic development self-assessment test with Barry Bluestone, and that's actually on our website. And this is exactly what he was talking about is, when you're looking at planning your community for growth, you have to be looking at, it's a circle. And, the first thing that big employers look at when they want to see if they want to locate in your community is what do they have for an education system, including technical schools and colleges. And we're lucky because we have 4 of them in a very close radius. Stonehill, of course, is right there, but and then having the technical school, and then the home prices, the other types of businesses that are there, the local primary school education, and it all ties together on how this works. So you're spot on with trying to highlight that. I think that's awesome.
So can I just step back a second? Bruce, did you say these are the professors that you could put us in touch with, or I'm sorry, at Stonehill?
The professors who are in charge of the program, I could forward you that information.
Well, what I was wondering, and I think, Dottie, did you say this when you started what you were saying? Would they be willing to come to our next meeting and talk about the program?
I'm sure they would.
I think that would be a great use of our time, and I hope they would think the same of their time, because it sounds really interesting.
Yep, I'll talk with them this afternoon.
Does that, Mark, I'm sorry, what do you think as chair?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I mean, just in this conversation alone, it's elicited a lot of thought and excitement. So I think, to Matt's point, everybody's point, there's connective tissue there that segues, not only do we have a place for business in this town, but we have a place where it's being studied. And it's all happening here, that type of excitement. So, come to Easton, this is where things are happening. I think it's fantastic. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that? Okay. I think we are ready to go into the next item on the agenda, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. Could I just wrap up?
Oh, yes.
Quick,
I'm sorry, Matt.
No, that's all right. So the last thing I wanted to put out was an ask, which is, would it be realistic to expect people to be able to review this copy and put in any revisions or comments within, the next 2 weeks? Basically, I would love to, I think we can get this live by March.
Yes. I absolutely think that is possible. You're doing all the work, really. If all we have to do is contribute a little and critique your work a little bit, and it'll be live in March, I think it's the least we can all do, to be honest.
And pictures and anything, pictures or maps. I mean, send them my way, certainly. But so I will send this copy doc table of contents out to the minutes email. And just, when you have a second, please feel free
to. Can you
just
tell me what type of pictures are you looking for again, so everybody's clear, so in our travels we can just pull over and take some pictures or whatever? Sure. Or if you have any on file. So basically, pictures of open space in town,
which, we have some in that thread for Easton Outside, which I think will be very useful. Any pictures of the Stonehill campus, maybe we might be able to get some of those easily.
Bruce, if you got any, well, yeah, that would be easy to get.
And then I think, so I do have the rendering of the Crescent Commons on that priority development page, but any additional pictures of downtown Easton, Five Corners, or the Crescent Commercial District, because I think those are the parts of the site we really want to highlight with images and visuals and make it easier for people to connect with those areas.
Okay. All right, we can do that. Is everybody in agreement? Everybody able to participate in that and help Matt?
Sounds good. He did all the heavy lifting.
Exactly.
I can send you about 500 photos.
Perfect. That's great.
One thing that's making me think of with the photos is that we have a few really great professional photographers that have taken some really iconic pictures of Easton, particularly the downtown. And maybe if we reached out to them and asked if they wanted to put their picture on the website, we could give them the photo byline, but also put a link to if they wanted to purchase any of those pictures, which would also be helping our local artists from an economic development perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could think about it.
I was thinking the same thing, because I know like Monica Hurley Lawson, all she does is take pictures of Easton. She's committed half her life to taking a million pictures of Easton, and they're amazing pictures. They're gorgeous, and she's very generous with sharing them. So and I know there's a ton of other people too, but
we'd have to put it out as an open request and have them respond, because we pick people specifically and advocate for a specific business. But maybe that's a way, and see who responds.
I can do that. I can put that out on the town crier, and if no one internally objects, I think that sounds like a news item we can put on the webpage, and we can do that through the Economic Development Council Facebook.
Sounds good. That sounds great.
There's one of my favorites.
Do we want them to go directly to Matt?
Oh, that is a good one.
Well, Bruce, what was that? What was that a picture of?
That's our grotto during a snowstorm.
I was gonna say it looks like the grotto area. That's beautiful. So yes, I would say, if it's okay with you, and to expedite this whole process, guys, anybody who takes a picture, just send it to Matt. Just send them to Matt. Matt will sift through if he thinks it's no good or it doesn't fit, then
call, do we want Matt? Do you want people to send them directly to you?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay, because the other.
And again, we don't need. I'm sorry, you go ahead.
I'm just trying to be sensitive that your email doesn't become this, a box that a bunch of, and I could have them send it to either me or Tish, probably me, and then just forward them to you. So that way your email address isn't exposed, if you care.
That's fine too. I mean, either way, it's just my Gmail. So, and again, we don't need that many pictures. I think the big focus really is on capturing these priority development districts, and when we can add pictures of either life in Easton or what it's like to be a business, or Stonehill and Easton, I think that would be great. But I don't want to make it seem like we need a full gallery, because less is more in a lot of ways. But I think we do need just a little bit of visual highlights here.
Well, if we put it out in the public, we could get a lot of pictures. You may want to set up a Gmail account just for those pictures, just a temporary Gmail account. Capture those, because if you put them out in the public, you may not want that mixed in with your regular email. It would be great if we got hundreds of them. Maybe we do. Who knows? We might not, but just anticipating what could happen.
Okay. Are we all clear on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. The next item on the agenda is the PACE program update. Stephanie, could you take that one?
Yes. So at the last meeting, I mentioned that Connor, the town accountant, Wendy Nightingale, and I met to go over program. My takeaway was to kind of document what the process would be to implement the program, which I have done. I also drafted, it is a draft letter to or memorandum to the select board, talking about the program. I'm meeting with Connor right after this meeting at 12 o'clock to go over that. And, the plan is to try to get this on, I'm hoping on the 22nd, but we need to wrap Dottie in it at this point too, chair of the select board, but I'm hoping we can get it before the select board at either the next or the next meeting.
Okay, so it's imminent. It's
Yes.
imminent.
Yeah,
All right, good.
the one question I had, there was a takeaway. We asked the committee, the council, to solicit or to reach out to different businesses to see if there would be an interest. I haven't heard anything from anyone. I did ask Dan if he'd had an opportunity. I did talk with Jim Day at IBC. He said that they have been working consistently over the last few years to make improvements to their properties, with solar panels and energy efficiencies. A lot of their energy consumption is in the equipment itself. So they have been, like motors that are more energy efficient. But he said those are generally lower cost items. However, he said, it is something that they would consider if they were doing a major improvement to the property. So,
Okay. And I know Dan was speaking with some businesses, and if you need his input to make a next step, then by all means reach out to him and ask if he's how he's coming along.
I was going to give him a call and follow up.
Good.
Because I could also call some of the other businesses, that I've already have somewhat of a relationship with. So.
Okay. All right. So that is the PACE program update. Does anybody have any questions or comments on that? All right. General outreach and support, Easton outside support. So anybody who can participate in the next meeting, which will be next Tuesday, Stephanie is going to send the link to that. That would be great. I think if, we're talking about support. So if you attend that meeting, in that meeting, you'll see how you can support it as we move forward. Because they will require support, more support, especially as weather gets better, and we can be outside more. Maybe there'll be an event or something. I don't exactly know. Our in that meeting, we're actually going to discuss phase 2 of the Easton Outside campaign, which is phase 1 was spreading awareness. So it's everywhere. It's out there. There's stories. All that good stuff exists, and now we need to create something where there is a call to action, an event of sorts. And so that's our phase 2. So that's what that meeting will be about. It's going to be a fun meeting, actually. I anticipate it actually being a good time. So, yeah, I think if you do want to support, further support Easton Outside, attend that meeting. That's step 1. And then the regional pilot program grants, Stephanie, can you speak to that?
That's the one Dottie was working on.
Okay,
We
all
already
right, yes,
talked
so that
about
was a little out of order. So that's covered. And then potential agenda items for the March meeting. Geez, my head is spinning.
We just
Obviously-
talked about having Bruce invite his 2 professors on the Photonics program.
Yep, so I would say that, it'll obviously be that, Easton Outside update, website update, and then I would say grant update. And that's an hour right there. What does everybody think of that for agenda items? Good, bad, add more, do less?
I think that's good, and I'll confirm with the professors that they're available for our next meeting.
Yes, of course. And between now and then, let's think about how we can creatively, use what's happening at Stonehill to bolster Easton. There's excitement clearly around this. So how can we really utilize that so we all benefit from it? Between now and then, it's just a thought I'm having right now that I don't know the answer to, but I hopefully everybody's thinking about that. So, all right. Is there any other questions or comments?
I just want to make one comment. We talked about this. I mentioned it at the select board meeting this week, but in case nobody is driving by on Saturdays by Langwater Farm, the farmers market was really struggling. A lot of communities don't have winter farmers markets. And one of the things with ours is that it was kind of, it was held in the church that was very generous up on Lincoln Street to host them in the winter, but there wasn't really a driving attraction to go off the beaten path to get there for that. And so the Agricultural Commission was trying to find a way like to keep that farmers market from, it was really struggling. And so they worked with Langwater Farm to host the market there. It started a little bit before Christmas. And if you drove by Saturday, it just was like, what's going on over there?
Yeah, it was jamming.
And, it was really, really exciting. And the vendors that I've spoken with, I've gone a couple of times, spent a fortune because I want to buy something from everyone. And they were just thrilled. Like everyone had a smile on. It's really, really very successful. Again, that's reaching out to other towns. Somebody I work with, texted me and was like, oh my God, we need this in my town. So it's really, really a great help to our small businesses.
Yeah. Easton is the place to be. I'm telling you right now, it really is. So with that, is any last comments or questions? All right. So does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. That's Dottie. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Bruce, second. And we'll do a roll call vote. Bruce.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
Stephanie.
Yes.
Dottie.
Yes.
And yes from me. Awesome work, guys. Looking forward to the next time we're meeting. Hopefully I'll see a bunch of you on Tuesday.
And I just sent everybody the invitation to next Tuesday's meeting.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys. Be safe.
Take care.
Bye.
All right.